What's up, everyone? I'm LTJ Reeves. This is Throwing Light, and if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. I have a really awesome episode tonight. This evening, you're going to meet my sass son, the second Mr. Austin Eagle, Mr. Austin Eagle 2025, Ken. What's up, Ken? Tell everybody hello.
Hi everyone. Hi Daddy.
Got matching. I have my crown from IML on, and my medallion, which you soon will have. And a year from now, you'll be in this
Applications
position.
open on
You won't be in this
Saturday.
exact position, but you will be the ghost of Christmas past, as I am the ghost of Christmas past, or the ghost of IML past, whatever. Cool.
Well,
So I'm so glad to have you on, Ken, tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about your journey into the community. We're going to talk about your experiences and how you are using your platform as Mr. Austin Eagle to help make the changes that you want for the community. So just to
mhm.
kick this off, Ken, let's get it started. You know, I know you. I know your heart. I know you're an amazing person. I cried when you won. I'm the only person that cried. I don't know why that was the case. Ken didn't even cry. You didn't cry.
Who?
Did you cry?
Okay, so when they announced that I won, I was like, "What? I won?" Um,
You weren't
but
expecting it?
yeah, I want to explain it a little bit.
Go ahead.
So people had kind of suggested to me that I should run, but I was like, "I'm doing the work already. I don't know if this is." So I needed a bit of convincing. And this being my first competition, some people kind of warned me that sometimes first timers don't win. And I was facing a really strong opponent, someone who was put together, very professional. And I thought, this person is older than me, they have more experience than me, and they present themselves way more cohesively than I thought I could. So when they announced him as like runner up, I was like, hmm. And then when they said I won, I was like, okay, that's funny. For like a brief second, I was like, oh, I won.
Yeah. Yeah, I judged the competition. So um I judged the competition. I know I you it was not easy. It was not easy to judge,
I can
especially
imagine.
me and I'm helping pick who will be. And like I said, I told you, I had the opportunity of seeing a lot of the contestants that were in the contest at the home of the Austin Eagle, doing things, being visible. So, there. How do I say this? There were people that I know are doing. Everybody in that community, everyone in the contest is doing work. You know,
Mhm.
and
Absolutely.
I am glad for the runner up, Law Daddy, and getting able for us to all go to the LGBT Commerce Chamber of Commerce banquet together.
Yes,
Cool. You
that
know, I
was
sit at a table by myself. What do you think?
you're
The
in a
food was
league of
so
your
bland.
own, Mr.
That food
Austin
was
Eagle.
so bland. That food was so bland. It was so bland. Did you eat it?
It's free food. I'll take it.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get back to the show. Me and Ken are just talking like we normally do. So, Ken, all right.
Okay.
Why don't you tell everybody how you got involved in the community? Now, you said that when you were in the contest, you felt like you were up against people that have been in the community longer and putting more work. What was your entrance?
My insurance?
Your entrance, like into the community. How old are you in leather years?
Oh, I am, let's see, I got my start in 2020.
Okay.
No, 2021. July 2021 was when I went to the Iron Bear for the first time coming to Austin. So I moved to Austin in October of 2019 for a job. And by the time I kind of got my bearing within the city, COVID happened.
Mm.
um, and, you know, I also got laid off. But I stayed in the city because I got into like grad school and it was online. So I was like, I don't really have anywhere to like, well, not to say that I didn't have anywhere to go, but I didn't see a compelling reason to move at that point. So I stayed. And then slowly, as bars and I got my shot, I decided I wanted to go out there. And what luck, the Austin Gears, of which I'm a council member now, was hosting its gear night, and I was interested. And so I went. And so in July of 2021, baby me came onto the scene. And that's how I got my introduction to the leather scene in
So
person.
okay, so since then, okay, what why now? What made you decide to run for a title now? What was your inspiration behind that?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I thought to myself, I do the work already. It's like, what is the title going to like kind of add to it? And I had that kind of narrow-minded focus on it. And it wasn't until I talked to other people and got their perspectives on the matter that I realized that this could be kind of a next step for me. Not only just for myself, but for people like me who don't fit the norm or fit the stereotype of a person in leather. And that increased visibility could be a catalyst for people to grow in their own way, like I had when I saw Leatherman on Tumblr all the way back in 2012.
So, I think that was I think during the pandemic for me is where I because there wasn't, like, I kind of started paying attention to the
Mm-hmm.
local community. And that's when I first I saw this, thing, Austin Key Weekend, that happened for its first year or whatever like that, coming out of the pandemic or whatever like that. And then hearing about the Lone Star Leather. And then I started following people. And then, I don't know, it led me to really honestly connecting with Luis Brad. Um, and everything's just been kind of like a snowball from there. Ken, I don't know if you know the story. So I was I just happened to be in New York City the same time that Louis and Randy were there, when I guess they
Mm-hmm.
were getting, finishing whatever business they were for the ownership of
Mm-hmm.
the deal there. So I was there. And at that time, I was getting ready to run for Mr. Texas 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all there was. This did not exist.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
it was just interesting that I happened to be there as they were really starting it. And then after Mr. Texas was over and the Eagle was going, they're like, well, we're going to do a Mr. Austin Eagle contest. And so they told me about it. I'm like, okay. So for me, I would say you probably have been you were doing the work more so than before you got the title. For me, I kind of was coming in and I needed to kind of like show myself a little bit more. And I
Mm-hmm.
think coming back around to the Mr. Austin Eagle competition, I had an opportunity to relax
Mm-hmm.
without any pressure of the contest. But then it was just kind of like how I grew. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think what you did a great job as, especially in your interview and things like that, was just being yourself. And sometimes those
Mm-hmm.
are high pressure situations, and it's really difficult to get through some of these competitions because you are putting yourself out there and you're expressing who you are and what you do for the community. We have talked, and I know that Asian visibility is a big thing for you. How do you plan on bringing more awareness to that during your tenure as Mr. Austin Eagle?
That's a kind of a difficult question as always, because well, I'm the first. And what anyone does when they're the first in a situation, they have to get the support of the community as well. I don't know if I've mentioned this before to you, but I'm an immigrant. I came here in June of '99. Yay. So
Okay.
my parents were also immigrants. And they've been on a honeymoon to America, like when they got married, but their cultural knowledge of America consisted of Terminator 2, Deep Impact, and that Kevin Costner movie where like an asteroid's about to hit Earth, but they blow it up. It's like this incredibly cheesy thing.
There's
Uh,
Armageddon. There's Armageddon. There's Deep Impact. Kevin Costner.
I think it was
Are you
Kevin
sure? Are you talking
Costner.
about Armageddon with Bruce Willis?
Oh, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, those
That's
came
it.
around the same time. I'm more of a Deep Impact fan, but if you like
It's
that
been a
you remember
while.
that song? Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. That was the soundtrack to that movie.
I don't remember. It's been so
I
long
don't want to
since I've
sing it
seen
for
it.
anybody. It's not going to happen, y'all. I'm not going to do it.
Hmm.
All right.
But
And I
that
don't
kind
want to
of,
miss a thing. You never heard that before?
I
No.
don't remember this. I don't know. Music sometimes kind of just does this whole whoosh situation where it's like, oh, I know this, but I don't know this.
Here's an interesting question. Culture
Mhm,
clashing. So
mhm,
you coming as an immigrant, which is very fascinating, very interesting. Coming into the leather community, I mean, 99. Okay, so what? It's been 20 over 20 years.
mhm.
Over 20 years.
Um,
You've had a lot of
although,
time. You've had a lot
yeah,
of time to Americanize, correct?
mhm. I actually got my citizenship in 2017, so it took a while.
18 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Um, it takes a really long time to do it. I was on the H-1B visa well, I came here on a visa, the H-1B visa program that's all up in the news right now. Um, and we had that for a couple of years. And slowly, as my parents kind of realized I'm more American than I am Japanese, they put together the kind of pieces for a green card. But even back in like the early 2000s, that system was, oh boy, messed up. And it took forever to kind of do it. And I only got my green card in 2012. I don't know if the legislation has kind of changed or policy impacts have changed with regards to green card, but when I had the green card, you had to wait 5 years before you can apply for citizenship. And so 2017 comes along, and as soon as I'm able to, applied. It took me 8 months to do it,
What is
which
the
was
application
considered.
process? What does the application process entail?
So the application process is you have to fill out a form. I think like the I-400 citizenship naturalization form. So you put in an application of like who you are, and then you send it to UCSIS, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. So and then you wait a couple of months as they kind of process the paperwork because backlogs. From that point, I have to do a fingerprint point, like to make sure, hey, I'm not a criminal. And then I have to answer other questions like nationality, like political beliefs, as such.
Actually,
And then,
please.
mhm,
Huh. And so what,
um,
like a party affiliation or something?
no, more like, do you have associations with the Nazi Party? Are you a communist, a avowed socialist, that kind of thing? Yeah, it's still a thing. The leftovers of America's paranoia over the Cold War, I guess, never really went away. Anyways, but after that, I had to go. Then, once that was all like kind of done, accomplished, the citizenship test. Um, I don't remember exactly how many questions were on mine, but it's like 100 random ones, which some people aren't able to accomplish
The
if they're
history
not like
question?
properly acculturated.
Is it history questions?
It's geography questions, American history questions. There's some constitutional amendment questions. Um,
How
it's
much you
hard,
would
man,
bet there are questions on a citizenship test that people in this country can't even answer?
but I answered them.
No, I'm talking about Americans born here couldn't pass that test. I bet.
Maybe. I like to think of it as a positive view that they know it, but they don't have the impetus to kind of put that information in
That's
their
so sweet of
mind.
you. That's sweet of you, Ken. You keep thinking positive. I'll think positive too that they know that information. I really hope so. Um,
But I mean,
there's
learning.
of course like
Mm,
knowing where states are is important, right?
mhm,
Um,
yes, but it
did
also delves into history.
did you feel any discrimination through that process?
No, not really. I honestly thought these were kind of easy answers to kind of questions if you had basic knowledge of like, America as a whole. Um, but I was also invested in the process because I wanted to be American. So that kind of drive to study, learn, and like know it so I can pass it. And I did pass it. All the questions.
So where did you? Okay, so where did you come from? Your
I
family.
came from Japan.
Is
Go
there
to
was there a
Japan.
leather culture in Japan?
Kind of, but not in the sense of like the Western sense of like leather, if that makes sense. The values are there, but they're displayed in a very like Eastern way. So there are sometimes groups like boys motorcycle clubs like Bozoku, which is more analogous to like the leather community here, like leather biker groups, like young men like coming together in those like very traditional masculine and leather like value ways, ultimately to roam throughout like Japan as a whole. But you know, Japan being such a very close ally of America, some of that culture has bled over. So there is a leather scene there. I'm just not very privy to it. Language and culture barrier, but also culture barrier on their end as well.
Could you see something like IML opening up and having somewhere like Japan be a part of this kind of union that we have going on?
It's called International Mr. Leather,
Like,
but contestants have traditionally come from the United States, the traditional Western world of like Western Europe and such. Actually, I think this year we have a Mr. Philippines leather. I
oh,
don't know if that's the first Asian, like, I mean, from Asia, not Asian contestants, but I don't know if that's the first like contestant from Asia as a whole.
Mr. Philippine Leather. Uh,
Hmm.
I will be finding this person. Your mission, Ken, is to get that person to me. Okay, I want to know who this is.
I will try.
Just please do. Make it
Mhm.
happen. You're magic. You're magic.
Uh, might be hard, even
That's
for me.
what that's what came on randomly on my Spotify when I was coming to work today. It was Rebecca Black
Mm.
Friday. I was like, oh my God, what are the chances of that? That makes no sense that would be recommended to me on Spotify. I don't know why that happened, but it was Rebecca Black Friday. Oh my
Mhm.
God.
Mhm.
Sing it.
Yes.
Sing it for everybody.
For context for everyone, so everyone knows the story. Um, One of my judges, Daddy Flash, asked me to sing during the interview, and I just said, "Can we do it at the end so I can have more time to do it?" And when the interview was over, I sang Rebecca Black's "Friday" to everyone. It's something that I have not heard any other contestant do as of late, but it would be a hell of a lot of fun if we did, because we're leather. We can be serious, but we can also be fun. We can be different. We can be us. But
You did of all contestants, you demonstrated humor the best, for sure. Hands down. I'll give
because that's just kind of me as a person, because I've learned that humor can be kind of a way to bridge like conversational divides and break down perceptions of people in a kind of very like honest human way.
And Ken, you know what? And you know why I think you're perfect for this year and everything is because this is going to be like there's going to be a lot of not funny things happening in the world, and
Mhm.
if you can get the community to smile and relax, I want nothing more for you to be successful at guiding the community this year because it's going to be quite a task for leaders this year with everything going on. So
Mhm.
I commend you for that, and I do hope that you are able to lead with love and laughter like you normally do.
Lead with love, laughter, and positivity that the Western media sometimes does not have a very good grasp on.
Media is a problem.
I'm I mean, Western media, with regards to LGBT issues, doesn't cover Asia as much. And I think that's a bit of a flaw in of itself, because yes, like LGBT rights are kind of under threat here, like South America, Africa definitely, the Middle East, and Europe as well. But there's a lot of positive developments coming out of Asia as well that I don't really see talked about. And I'll give an example for such a thing. And I can't believe I'm like praising a dictatorship, but here goes nothing. uh, in 2017, the People's Republic of China, the communist like national party, the supreme like organ of like legislation in that country, extended like legal guardianships to everyone. And basically, what that means, guardianship means is that like if you and I are partners and you designate me as your guardian, if you're medically incapacitated, I can make decisions on your behalf. So pseudo legal like same sex marriages are the thing. And they extended that right to everyone, including same sex couples. And in 2021, the law that has been on the books since 1980, the marriage law of the People's Republic of China, that defined like a marriage between a man and a woman, that got abolished. And while it's kind of far from perfect of like having like actual full legal protections under the law, there's positively trending there. In 2024, that was when the majority of polls in China indicated that like support for LGBTQIA plus people has grown to become the majority of it. There were years past where there's like some fluke like poll that indicated that like listen, there's like more than 51%, but last year in 2024 was when it became consistently so. And in fact, the legal guardianship like principle that I mentioned earlier, and this is Chinese social media, so it might skew towards young people, but according to like their main social media, like called Weibo, 85% of people on that platform express support for legal guardianship. It's not perfect, it's still nascent, and there's a possibility that a backslide could happen, but homosexuality has been decriminalized in China since 1997. And while the Communist Party of China isn't very pro gay, as witnessed by its censorship of LGBTQIA plus content, they also aren't expressing laws that explicitly discriminate against them. So in Asia, in parts of Asia, positively spreading.
That's
In a
cool.
communist nation where they don't have the mechanisms of democratic rule, the people there were able to convince their leaders that moving in that direction is the right thing to do. And I think that's so powerful. And if people living under like a communist dictatorship can express their support a little bit more openly now, then surely we can too.
I think that is really Ken. I tell you, I feel like I'm in a class, like I'm in a university class, just sitting here taking notes, like because that is really cool. I like that spin you have. Ken, I want to be like you. I want to focus on the good, the things that are really happening that we're not focusing on. And I feel like if you want to look for bad, you're only going to see bad, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be like that. I know 2025 is going to be a challenging year, but you
The
know,
possibilities are
it's,
out there.
it's perspective, right? It's all about perspective and
Mm-hmm.
how we approach things. And I 100% do believe that our community's glass is half full, not half empty. And we just got to use our gifts and our talents, and social media now keeps us even closer to be able to shine a light on things that are happening to us. What is something that you feel like you really want to bring to our local Austin leather community?
I want to encourage people to come on out. And ultimately, like the values of leather is being yourself. And so by being kind of this zany kind of person that I can be sometimes, and having fun with it, honestly, that people should ultimately express themselves. And if that happens, then I win. That's what I want.
you like, and we've talked about like, so and I'm going to talk to you after this interview, but you think visibility coming out as a leather community is very important, correct?
Absolutely.
As we because we've been doing like the visibility leather. Yes, I think we need to keep showing up and showing out. So Ken, we are at my favorite part of this show. And this is the part where I ask everybody the same question. And that is there anything or any area of our community that you feel like we are not shedding enough light on, that we should shed light on? Something that we don't talk about a lot.
I can't speak for other communities because I am not them. And while I can relate to some of their struggles, I can't speak for them. Visibility amongst minorities within our communities. Um, and when I would first join Austin Gears, one of the few like Asian people there, not the only one, but right now one of the more visible ones. And I've seen like some other Asians like come on out and have fun with it, and seeing that kind of growth in them, seeing them laugh, have fun, let loose a little bit. That's been rewarding to me. And I think that if we express our values in a way and embody them in a so openly, we can encourage people to come on out, and we can encourage growth in a way that we may not really envision for ourselves. And I'll use the kind of example of me like going on Tumblr as like back in 2012 as an example. I mean, these Leathermans owning their spaces and owning their identity, they weren't doing it for me. It was just kind of a ripple effect of being themselves that I was very attracted to. And I'm sure many other people have a similar story. So embracing the values that you want displayed more openly in a friendly way. I think that's important.
So I had a buddy of mine. One of my judges on last year was GS Yang. He's been
Hmm.
involved in Chicago Leather. I was going to be bringing him back in March. I think it'd be great, Ken, if we put a little panel together and discuss a little bit more about Asian visibility and shine some light on that. Maybe get a panel together. I do want to also tell you this, as Mr. Austin Eagle, because I'm biased and I love you so much. The Throwing Light platform is yours, Ken. All you got to say, I want to bring you back on here as much as you need to. I want you to come back on this show at least two more times before your step down, okay?
Hmm.
And let the community know what you're up to here, okay? Because Throwing Light is home turf, and you're on home turf.
But we can only stay in home for so long. Being home can kind of stagnate us in a way. Being comfortable, it's great for short periods of time, but you don't grow unless you do something uncomfortable. You don't grow by like being in one place. Well, as I've learned through like earning the title, that that I never envisioned like the kind of confidence that I've been seeing in myself. Like, and that's kind of like colored like every aspect of my life, whether it be kind of speaking against like my boss and convincing him that he's wrong and I'm right and to go with my plan, not his. I was like, I could not have done that 3 months ago. But here I was speaking my mind, telling him why he's wrong, and then convincing him to, or doing other things like just going out to the community and just feeling I'm home. And then expressing those values to like other places. Tomorrow I'm going to Washington D.C. for Mid Atlantic Leather, and I'm so excited.
That's so much
Not
fun.
just to meet the like other Leathermen, but
Get to meet a
to
lot of
get
you
out of the
guys.
city.
That was me
Hmm.
1 year ago. That was me 1 year. I'm sorry I'm not going to get to be there. LTJ has to take care of some new territory that he's expanding. So I will
And
miss
that's
that. But
okay.
I'm going to, everybody, I will be at Austin Key Weekend. For those that are wondering what leather events, I will be back on track with leather events for Austin Geek Weekend. I'll be at IML, and then I will be at other leather events for the rest of the year. We'll figure that all out. So y'all might be like, "Where's LTJ?" I'm around. I'm just taking care of some leather artistic things. Ken, I'm going to be there for you at IML. I'm here for you now. You know, I told you after the year started, we asked to
Hmm.
start getting you ready. So we will start getting you ready this month. I'm excited about that. I'm just so proud of you, Ken. I'm excited for you. You're going to do so many amazing things and take the confidence that this title gives you and just run with it. You
Hmm.
deserve this. I love you. Everyone loves you. You are Mr. Austin Eagle and you are a star and you can do this, my friend. Okay?
I'm going to turn my growth into power,
Do
and I'm
that.
going to show a different side of the leather community that maybe needs to be shown. We
Now,
need to laugh in these difficult times because if there's no laughter, if there's no community, like, what's the point?
well, there you go, y'all. Thank you, Ken, so much. Now, the next thing we got to do is we got to get you one of these, okay? That's our next task.
Mm,
Ready?
Well, the application opens on Saturday, and I intend to compete and represent our amazing community.
Thank you for representing our community, Ken. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. That brings us to the end of Throwing Light. This is so great. This is fun. Y'all are gonna see Ken a lot more. This is my sad son, y'all, and he's out there and he's gonna be killing it. He is going to do this community fat. Yeah, there he's dancing. All right, Ken. There's a new thing that I'm doing now. I have to everybody make everybody say the catchphrase to end the show. Okay. Well, I'm going to repeat after me. Okay, you ready? If you're
Repeat
not
it.
throwing light, you're not acting right. You ready?
If you're not throwing light, you ain't acting right.
There we go. And that's the end of throwing light,
Mhm.
y'all. See y'all next time. Bye, kid.
Bye,